State matchup of the fall season happened on the soccer field today. And there's one thing certain about this weekend: Northwestern is going to be hungry, coming off of a close loss to Nebraska, as well as it being homecoming this weekend. One would have expected the loss of Damon Bullock and Greg Garman to be crushing blows on Saturday. Don Bosco had another homecoming night. First on their brand new field, used to be a cornfield. Tonight it was a homecoming setup. Considering Penn State's defense is ranked 15th in the nation for points allowed. New Hartford finished the regular season with a double overtime victory over arch rival Appleton Parkersburg. Iowa's defense is in for a tough test this weekend, considering Indiana's pass offense ranks tops in the Big Ten. With the Hawkeyes already thin at running back, one would have expected the loss of Damon Bullock and Greg Garman to be crushing blows on Saturday, but fullback Mark Weissman stepped in and provided major fireworks. Weissman pulled off some punishing runs that ended with him gaining over 100 yards on a day while picking up 3 touchdowns and the first 3 of his career. The Hawkeye sophomore started the season slotted as Iowa's number 5 tailback, but he turned out to be the top choice against the Panthers. He may have some adjustments he still has to make.
That's my style of running, and it's what it is. Like, I definitely need to work on maybe a little moves, trying to get around him that way, but that right now that was my style of running as a fullback.
That's just kind of Mark's attitude day to day. He came out and did it on Saturday, but he's like that, you know, Tuesday through Friday during the game week. He's a tough runner, hard guy to bring down, and just has a lot of pride, and you know, we're really excited to have him in block form.
Even before today, a lot of us had a lot of confidence in Mark, and he's a great guy. He's been around the program for a year and a half now, and a guy that's really dependable back there.
Iowa will host Central Michigan out of the MAC next Saturday. On the other side of the ball, the UNI offense came out smoking, going 83 yards for a touchdown on their first drive. But exactly like a week ago against Iowa State, the Hawkeye defense flexed their muscles and kept the Panthers out of the end zone. UNI quarterback Sawyer Cole-Morgan talked about that after the game.
It was just a great effort by them, you know, making adjustments, doing different things to kind of rattle us. And I think that, you know, we did the best that we could. And I couldn't ask any more from any of my guys, from David, receivers, linemen. They all did their jobs, and we did the best we could.
The Panthers have a tough road ahead as they open up conference play at Youngstown State. The Iowa State moves on to a bye week after rolling over Western Illinois last night 37-3. Seal Jans threw for 209 yards and 3 touchdowns and just over 1/2 of work in the game. The Cyclones were dominant in about every single category except for turnovers, and that one bothers Coach Paul Rhodes.
We had 3, and they had 0, and God bless us. We win more games losing the turnover battle than anybody in America. I don't like that.
And it's kind of shooting ourselves in the foot. You know, I had a fumble. We had a dropped 3rd down, and then we had a 3rd down where we had a penalty. So there's 3 drives. We just got to keep realizing that, you know, if we don't shoot ourselves in the foot, then we'll be pretty good.
The Cyclones are off this week. They'll open Big 12 play, hosting Texas Tech on the 29th. To the NFL, the Vikings looking for a miracle for the 2nd week in a row. Down 14 to the Colts with 5 minutes left. This ball gets tipped twice. It somehow ends up in Stephen Burton's hands. Minnesota pulls within 7. Same score here. Final minute, Christian Ponder will find Kyle Rudolph for 6 yards to tie up the game, and it looked like it was going to be going into OT, but Indy would get on the field into field goal range and a Vinatieri from 53, and he nails it to put it out of reach, 23-20. That's a wrap of sports. This is Ben Jordan. We'll be right back. In today's final match, the Waterloo Blackhawks had already proven they could play with anyone in the world, but they still wanted one more win to capture the Junior Club World Cup over the Sudbury Wolves out of Canada. Coach P.K. O'Hanley and the boys were looking to end this thing on a high note after a great 2-week trip to Russia, and early on, Ian McAdam had things going for the Hawks. He stopped everything in the first 2 periods. Unfortunately, however, Waterloo was also scoreless going into the 3rd, and it was Sudbury that would break the scoreless streak. That's Josh Lavo scoring on the breakaway, and it was Wolves to grab the 1-0 lead through the midway period. And only 35 seconds later, they'd reached another score on a power play. Frank Corrado drills in a hard wrister into the back of the net, 2-0. The Blackhawks couldn't put one up on the board today, and they would finish a great trip as runner-up.
On our team, and really proud of the guys in the locker room, and wish we could have a better outcome, but we learn from it.
I think you had two teams that wanted something really bad, and they got a break, and you know, we couldn't get a break. And I'm pretty proud of our players. I'm very proud of our players. I'm proud of our staff. This was quite the undertaking, and not many times do I say A+ to all my group, but A+.
Waterloo's Ian McAdam was named most outstanding goaltender of the tournament, picking up 3 wins in his 4 appearances. The first in-state matchup of the fall season happened on the soccer field today. Both UNI and Iowa would come into this match with identical 3-0 records. The Panthers were hoping to notch their first ever victory against the Hawkeyes in their 9th attempt. However, this wouldn't help. The Hawks' Chloe Lacasse scores on the breakaway as Iowa would hold the 1-0 goal at half, and they'd add more in the second. Lacasse in a great pass to Ashley Cottrell. She puts it home for the 2-0 lead, and the Hawks end up rolling today. Nicole Urban adds as Ashley Carper puts in the shutout 3-0 to beat out UNI. Former Drake kicker Billy Cundiff was cut by the Baltimore Ravens today. The team instead elected to keep rookie Justin Tucker. Cundiff made the Pro Bowl just 2 seasons ago, but will also be remembered for missing the potential tying field goal against New England in the AFC title game earlier this year. The Seattle Seahawks have also cut wide receiver Terrell Owens. Owens broke the news through his Twitter account this afternoon. The 38-year-old, who hasn't played a game in the NFL since 2010, had originally signed with the team on August 6th. That's a wrap of sports. This is Ben Jordan. We'll be right back.
After a hot start in the Big Ten with wins over Minnesota and Michigan State, the Hawks have dropped back-to-back games.
I'm concerned about everything right now, offensively, defensively, special teams, and just how we play collectively.
As noise swarms around Iowa's team that hasn't shown much improvement since the start of the season, Iowa needs 2 more wins to become bowl eligible, something they've done 11 straight years. But with 4 games left, Hawkeye teammates still have faith.
When we come to work here, you know, we have a system we believe in. We know it works.
This Saturday, Iowa faces a 3-5 Indiana team whose record is not indicative of their season. 4 of their 5 losses were by 4 points or less.
Yeah, it won't be easy this week. This is another high-tempo group, you know, the 3rd week in a row.
Iowa's defense is in for a tough test this weekend, considering Indiana's pass offense ranks tops in the Big Ten.
You know, in this situation, obviously with them passing a little bit more, then, you know, yeah, it'll put us a little bit more added pressure to get pressure on the quarterback.
The Hawkeyes' offense has an opportunity to shine as Indiana falls at the bottom of the conference for total defense. But quarterback James Vandenberg says they have something to be aware of.
They take some risks, but it's a high-risk, high-reward defense. They believe in what they're doing, and they do a good job at it. So we got to make sure that we can hold up when they do want to pressure us and take advantage of some one-on-one opportunities.
Reporting in Iowa City, this is Ben Jordan, KWWL News.
The way I felt was embarrassed. I know a lot of guys on the team felt the same way.
As Iowa tries to forget about a disheartening loss to Penn State in front of a home crowd at Kinnick, a lot of fingers were pointed in every direction for who to blame. The Hawks didn't play well on offense, defense, or special teams, but senior James Vandenberg acknowledges himself as part of the blame.
Well, I mean, obviously, I feel like I take a lot of responsibility. I'd like to think that I'm controlling a lot of the stuff we do, and offense football is 11 guys, but at the same time, it's my job to lead those 11 guys.
Although Vandenberg completed less than half of his passing attempts, his starting job is not in jeopardy, according to Ferentz.
You know, to evaluate what happened Saturday, any one player's performance or, you know, job status, I mean, it'd be tough to do because it just, you know, there wasn't much that went well.
Looking on to Northwestern, both defenses on average allow less than 23 points a game. However, the Hawks need to be mindful of the Wildcats' rushing attack, led by Vernick Mark. On top of that, a 2-quarterback system with Trevor Simeon making a majority of the passes and Kane Coulter showcasing the mobile attack with 8 rushing touchdowns this season.
You know, Kane Coulter, put him at slot, put him out wide, running back, the quarterback, just moving guys around, and they're really just generating huge gaps in the run game. That's what it comes down to.
And there's one thing certain about this weekend: Northwestern is going to be hungry, coming off of a close loss to Nebraska, as well as it being homecoming this weekend. Reporting in Iowa City, this is Ben Jordan, KWWL. When everyone thought Mark Weissman was a saving grace for the Hawkeye season, the notorious running back curse has struck again. Here's Weissman conducting business as usual, running for over 100 yards and scoring a touchdown for the 4th straight week. But Michigan State left him with a sprained ankle, and heading into this weekend's game against Penn State, the rumor is near reality. Weissman is most likely not playing.
He's clear to play. He's not in risk. So it's can he play effectively? Yeah, and that's a big if right now.
So for the 5th time this season, the Hawks coaching staff may have to use a line all too familiar. Next man in.
We have a lot of confidence in Greg. He's a really talented guy, and not only Greg, but Jordan and Mike Malloy if we needed him.
Aside from the running back position, the Iowa receiving corps continues to progress, but is struggling with getting the ball into the end zone. This weekend may need to be a more balanced attack to overcome a tough defense.
We're not going to give up on the run, but we're going to have to try to compensate a little bit and spread it around.
You know, we're going to have to step up, you know, so that takes away the running game a little bit, so we have to go to the passing game maybe. It's all about game plan. It depends on what the coaches want to do.
With Weissman likely out and Garmin in this weekend, he could be in for a tough test, considering Penn State's defense is ranked 15th in the nation for points allowed. Reporting in Iowa City, this is Ben Jordan, KWWL.
Ben Jordan joins us to talk about this one.
That's right, Rick. We have a few fun plays for you tonight. Dyke New Hartford finished the regular season with a double overtime victory over arch rival Aplington Parkersburg, while Denver stumbles into the playoffs on a 3-game losing streak. Dyke jogs in front of their home crowd and gets to work. To the end of the first we go, Dyke's quarterback tossing it off to senior Alex Young with the 25-yard catch and go for the first touchdown of the game, making it 7-3. And after a Dyke punt deflection, check out Seth Morgan in the corner of the end zone, just barely staying in bounds for the score. But Denver bounces back here in the second as Chase Shedenhelm rushes up the field, making it 14-9, and Dyke responds with the running back Levi Lynch for the 5-yard score right before half, and it goes on to win it 45-23. And Rick, Dyke stays undefeated tonight with an unbelievable offense that was just a little bit too much to handle for Denver tonight.
I know. Ben Jordan joining us here tonight to talk about this one. What did you think about the game?
That's right. Don Bosco had another homecoming night. First on their brand new field. Used to be a cornfield. Tonight it was a homecoming setup. Tonight the Dons played host to a Rockford team that was looking for its first district win, and right out of the gate the Dons get to work. Junior quarterback Jake Hogan gets off to a good start here in the first, connecting with junior Travis Havel to put 6 on the board. On the next Dons drive, Hogan finds senior Tyler Metcalf for the 23-yard completion, making it 14-0. And Hogan keeps it pouring here, showing off his mobility at the QB spot with the keeper, only to be taken down on a shoestring tackle with only a few yards left to go. But it sets up this. Quick little handoff to senior Tyler Backus for a quick score to make it 20-0. And with just a few seconds left in the first, Hogan finds Havel again, who makes it look easy for his second score of the game, making it 28-0. And the Dons don't look back from there as they knock off Rockford 42-16. And I tell you what, Rick, this offense for Don Bosco is stellar, starting with the quarterback position in Hogan.
I know.